the voiceless. You are the choice of the voiceless.
Real. Sure. Yeah. Check it out. Check it.
They teach and preach, but good governance. You want to see we country advance. You not get party, stand for democracy. You give everybody a chance.
98.1
Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. On news, views, and entertainment. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. Radio Democracy. On news, views, and
Alright, the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. Short length from now, we'll bring come to you with news and current affairs program Watin Dae Bi. Stay tuned to 98.1 FM for the very best in radio listening.
Wisdom not a go with age normal. Now with that wise word there, they say good evening and welcome to the current affairs program Watin Dae Bi, where they come to you from the Society for Radio Democracy 98.1 FM. And you same way so they listen to we on the internet on www.radiodemocracy.sl. The program now Watin Dae Bi, and me where they bring today edition of the program Watin Dae Bi come to you, Mina Sonia Bell. Inside the program today, according to the head of business development and communication and action, Action Aid Salon, Valerie Nafisa Tumomo, the 720,000 leons where they don't get to 15 youth organization them. Now for make them able to implement the youth action for good governance and self-reliance project. The project manager for Gold Plus project, now the Environment Protection Agency, Mobash Idris say, wait, one thing where they embark artisanal and small-scale gold mining in the country, now because law not there for tap people, not for use mercury per artisanal and small-scale gold mining. And today, inside the program, we go talk to one journalist and social commentator, Liam Edward Cocker. We go talk about the 2025 Constitutional Amendment Act and what it mean for democracy and good governance na salon. All this plus other interview and reports they inside the program. So, stay with me for the next 45 minutes. The program now Watin Dae Bi. We start for look at issue them inside the program. The executive director for League of Democracy Advocate Ibrahim Sori Doumbouya say, then they against one party decision them where Parliament take for pull comot the independent candidates for contest by election inside the 2025 Constitutional Amendment Act. It talk this power interview where it talk about waiting them as civil society organization think, but the decision where Parliament take for pass the Constitutional Amendment Act. Ibrahim Sori Doumbouya talk more to me inside this interview.
So far, waiting we don't see the thing very transparent. Always disagreement with the either side because everybody they seek their own party political positions. But the only contention how for determine the two thoughts. And the speaker, I think, for do justice to the proceedings, that refer that for the parliament interpret it and the name. From the outcome of the interpretation of the Supreme Court, we didn't get the constitutional and legislative mandate for interpret the laws then. But so far the process has been transparent because we see open debate In Parliament, the process has been transparent. Even though the initiation of the proposal gets contention as a result of either parties, then they say, we'll not be agree on this, we'll be agree on this.
Okay, so the Constitutional Amendment Act now, as they don't pass into law, gets provision, but the way our electoral institution them go operate. Una think say then change here go give strength to the independence and credibility of the Electoral Commission.
The constitutional amendments, most of the major challenges they get for deal with the electoral reforms. The first past the post, of course, we all see the 50+1, you know. But for us advocates, we always look at the constituency based, which is the first past the post, because it is concerning and it is very, very alarming that the PR system override that, because in a constitutional democracy like Salon, they try forget a proper and a liberal democracy. First past the post for now, by way of circumstances, are applicable as opposed to the PR system. But however, people follow this say the PR itself is in the Constitution, pursuant to Section 38 of the 1991 Constitution. It is there, but it's there as an alternative, and it gets conditions under which that particular section will become operational or come into force.
So this act also gets provision. We're going to make more women them able to take part in politics. I want to think say this go able for improve on that.
And of course for the woman quota, that might well come inside of the constitutional amendment. Of course, women need to get the guarantee, even though we have been advocating and there are other constituent laws them, we probably give women them the quota. But however, if for let it become constitutional now, for let it become an expressed and it become an explicit implied provisions now in the law, it makes sense and we welcome that, because women them are part of the society. They self get their own contributions. So if they are left out, then it's the political system don't become discriminatory. Of course, the bill gets a lot of other provisions that we acceptable. Like for us, I am against the omission of the independent candidates. Our own organization specifically supports independent candidates because that they will be able to be a balance as towards our political system and a mixture and dynamic purposes.
Finally, what's going to be on your message to Salon people them? We not get understanding about this Constitutional Amendment Act and the impact where if it gets upon them as citizens in this country.
And the final message to Sierra Leoneans them that Sierra Leoneans will become, let them respect the parliament as an arm of government, let them respect the judiciary as an arm of government.
For League of Democracy advocate Ibrahim Sori Dumbia, but they talk to me inside our interview day, but the position where the civil society organization gets on the decision where Parliament take for pass the Constitutional Amendment Act. We they continue for look at more issue inside the program Watin Dae Bi. Members say me where they bring the program come to you today, Mina Sonia Bell. According to the head of Business Development and Communication at Action 8 Salon, Valerie Nafisa to Momo, the 720,000 leons where they don't get to 15 youth organization them, now for make them able for implement the Youth Action for Good Governance and Self-Reliance project. Valerie Nafisa to Momo talk this inside one interview with Radio Democracy where they talk about the couple where they don't get to 15 youth organization them. He talk more to a reporter Mastan Swari inside this interview.
So actually partner with the Ministry of Youth Affairs for celebrate this International Youth Day because we believe in young people then, and we believe say young people then are change agents then our society. And as part of we young work we do, we always put young people then at the forefront for ensure say them voice them be heard, especially young women them and young people the way they live in marginalized context. So today as part of the European Union funded Youth Action for Good Governance and Self-Reliance project, actioned and CCYA in collaboration with the Ministry of Youth Affairs, don't present award small grants to 15 chiefdom youth councils. We provide to just 3 of them for represent the 15 chiefdom youth council.
Within this project here, so the boat.
This project, just like how the name imply, now for build up the agency of young people them, for contribute to good governance and self-reliance, for make them able for rely on them self-your initiatives and innovation, for able for contribute to good governance in the country.
What's not the importance of this project when they implement?
This project is really important because when you look at it, it contributes to Bokutin, they contribute to the government of Sierra Leone National Medium-Term Development Plan. They contribute to sustainable development goals. And for breaking down in simple terms, they contribute to young people their own development one, both themselves and how they do for contribute to national building.
So how do they implement this project?
We implement this project in 3 districts and as I say in partnership with CCYA. So they implement in Atonkolili, Moyamba, and the Western area rural.
We see also the Ministry of Youth celebrate International Youth Day, and we see on do check presentation. Take me to what are the amounts on a present?
We give 15 chiefdom youth councils them small grants. These grants, each chiefdom youth council they get 48,000 new leon, and when we put all that money together for the 15 chiefdom youth councils, then it amounts to 720,000 new leons.
What's not the name of the different chiefdom that one don't get in grants there too?
See, they symbolically represent to Kolifa Ruala Chiefdom Youth Council, Koya Zonal Youth Council, and also Kayamba Youth Council. But then are just the 3 we present to symbolic. In total, then are then 15.
Right. So, what are the measures then they put in place for ensure say when I monitor the implementation of this project for CC, them money they also don't give to young people, they implement it for the right purpose?
One key sustainable measure we don't put in place now with collaboration with the Ministry of Youth, because we know say governments na in the so go projects being done. But when we collaborate with the Ministry of Youth, we work through the structure of the Youth Council, because then gets them national presidents, where they with we all through this process in the Ministry of Youth safety. They ensure say then they part of all waiting we do, so that tomorrow when the project go done, then we'll continue for monitor waiting this project being particularly focused on, and waiting are the things that the young people they use for implement with these grants where we get for them.
So when this project here so they end?
This project they end in December 2026. We don't start them from January 2024.
Alright, so we don't give 48,000 each to about 15 chiefdom in the country. What do they expect from the young people there so as we don't give them money there so?
Okay, so based on the proposal with them being right, then tell we say they want for invest into innovations that will surround agriculture, fishery, animal rearing and things there like that. So they expect for see them projects then they come to life. Would they expect for see the youth then build self-reliance from them projects then and able for contribute to other youths then.
The program now Watin Dae Bi, and me where they bring the program Watin Dae Bi come to you today, me and Sonia Bell. Like I be say before, today inside the program, we go talk to one journalist and social commentator, when Edward Corker, where people call dictionary. We go can talk about the 2025 Constitutional Amendment Act and what it mean for democracy and good governance for Salone people. So now we go over to we guest.
Thank you very much, Bell. So, Watin Dae Bi for an evening conversation like this, na Salone, not too simple about the type of debate about constitutional amendments, for kind of discourse about governance. So, the conversation of Watin Dae Bi today, we left will be a very interesting one. They send we more into a more deeper reflection, say the constitutional amendments, the angle about governance, the key thing we as a journalist and a political scientist sit here now order the benefit from this key year. So if we go back for the onset for the past weeks now, we both the APC, the SLPP and the Powerman Chief, the Mr. Parliament, don't discuss about the amendments. The two catchy thing, we literally don't put all this razzle-dazzle when it comes to the PR system and first past the post. So the PR system, now SLPP they push for them, and the first past the post, now APC they push for them. Now the two side no more than the way disagreements when it comes to electionary process. But when it comes to issues like the 30% quota for women they also agree. When it comes to the Tusim business, they also agree. When it comes to diaspora voting, they also agree. But when it comes to the PR system now and the first past the post to SLPP, then say the PR system now the best one for how we get the election business. Me get a background in psychology, we had the study of election. So for the SLPP, the PR system now the best one we go perfectly suits the constituents them in a way. Whilst for the APC, they argue say first past the post is more better. If we go back during the own term being and the Skuma regime, almost all constituency get MP. Wait for the SLPP, for the APC, their stance is PR system will make some certain constituencies and get MP, as we see now. That's their own problem, and not to be problem. But we problem as citizens, whilst I'm here to represent them. Now the question of who benefits. So Watin Dae Bi today, the conversation in the Anglo one for now on to who are the benefits. And towards this entirety of the bill, that then the benefits. Because if you see the misfire in a way, speaker don't misfire, and nothing no shock me, let's just make the precedent so well and sorted. Waking up today, earlier this afternoon, one of the most interesting press releases I get for see, Bell, where I see say President Bio instructs the clerk for letting convene an emergency meeting, cites specific section 80 something I can recall, say MPs there for Kana Parliament. You know on which grounds? The ground of MP for come, not for this constitutional business, so now for letting come and run the entirety of the appointees them for approval. And the question they popping now, for say the panel they busy but we constitutional some way they go between we speaker tell we say let we go Supreme Court, a code sections, and now we're expecting the president to make a statement who will say there's a portion in the constitution actually gear right for better interpretation for the Supreme Court. But the key thing we say now is that President Bio, this press release will come out today for let it convene emergency meeting, and there is also a portion for him there. Not to something we expect. We will see the power we say bring in this constitutional business. They will look into them rather than they tell we say Parliament will come and get approval. I ask within the SOP until I within the B. We're here to ask within the B.
Okay, so dictionary. In simple Creole, so what's in these amendments mean for ordinary salon people? Then we don't understand. Can you explain small about this constitutional amendment?
So this is not the first time we salon they experience constitutional amendment, and it's not going to be the last time at all. For the mere fact, democracy, they evolve, it means say there are certain laws that will therefore be amend. Not to the one whole constitution that they amend though, now certain portions of them they therefore amend. And let me just go back during the Skoma regime when Justice Cowan be put to the Justice Cowan report and also the white paper. So then literally get for looking into the constitution, say there are certain side and day inside it who forget for amend. And the key thing from this we own amendments goes back to the tripartite agreement between APC and SLPP. So over 80 plus agreements, then be put them inside, they say. Then they go back to the 2023 election, where to some bereaved APC people, it's not a win the election. Where they say, not to win the election, there was this backlash. So then they all now one of the trajectory will lead to Usawide so. But that is not the ball game. The ball game now that these amendments literally the position we on the specific election system will for use for 2028. That is the backlash now between the PR system and the first past the post. But looking as of waiting, speaker had already make, and perhaps you might not be privy to that. But speakers, when Parliament posted on Facebook, and then they cited what the speaker said, it literally don't make a clear say, and speaker at the one post where we say, it is sending thing go Supreme Court. When the case for go Supreme Court now, Supreme Court never give better interpretation and say, now this and this we find. But unfortunately, Speaker already make a ruling. And he say ruling we don't make nobody overruling ruling. That brings the question. So Watin Dae Bi this evening, like I said earlier, now who are the benefit? And look at the beneficiary factor. Now wrong precedent will remove it. Like I said earlier, the first and this follow we get constitutional amendments, discussion at Parliament. It is not going to be the last, but the trajectory. And that comes also on how the thing look wants to be more paupalized upon we. Let me reference a couple of countries them. Let's say for instance, Paul Biya. Okay. If you watch at countries like Ivory Coast, you watch at countries like Zimbabwe, you watch at countries like Rwanda, a couple of these other countries them. Countries in the way literally we don't see say out of able for use the constitution for letting make the president where a day or the government of the day get within they want. But not to this kind of approach we won't forget. If we actually move at this approach, it will create chaos, and that chaos will be very difficult to handle.
Okay, so dictionary also as social commentator, you think say this particular term important, this particular term for amend this constitution?
So when it comes to the importance, Parliament is always intentional about whatever thing they do. So Parliament, they take decision based on emotions and on their standard, on their standing orders. To every bill with the kind of Parliament, it has been vetted, and I've been following this entirety from the first stage to the second stage. Even when it comes to the third stage, every stage has been well folded. This is very important. Like I say, this connects to everything, and whatever wrong decision we get for this amendment bill, we cannot get it right for 2028. If we get it right for now, we can get 2028 very right. So everything tangled around election, and this one, politics now like interest. It's like if we can position ourselves now on this particular angle, then we can get it right. I don't know if you understand what I say. So whereas the SRP for them, it's 2 years into election. But if they get the PR system, and the PR system is we done with census by December, they don't get the allocate who say strategic side in the for position itself. So that's the win. So it's like a win-win situation. But looking at the government of the day, and we trace back to how 2023 was, I tell you, SRP, APC left for beer, or citizens have to beer, but it's not going to be a long journey ahead of what is going to happen.
So what do you the project say go get for happen as a citizen, a social commentator, we don't follow up on political issues?
I might not use the social commentator angle for that part. I might use the political scientist angle. The next phase for now is the speaker directing us to Supreme Court. That's Supreme Court to wait for. And I know we can make a hasty conclusion. I say this is going to happen, that is going to happen. The precedent is already there. In law, when they say precedent, like we don't set the record straight. So the next movement now, Bell, let me get for situating Supreme Court can get for tailway. And when they get for tailway, that particular one, then now they move on with. But waiting speaker, allow the Parliament for move out. It's a nice one. But if he is the one who has directed us to Supreme Court, we do it to Supreme Court. I think that's the key thing now. So whatever decision we make now, not just analysis with a key. But forget anything we factual, anything we look for be very documented in history, and Supreme Court to wait for.
Okay, so I will come back to you. So now we will continue the program Watin Dae Bi, and we will take another issue inside the program. Also, the deputy advisor for Belial Car Wash, Jesse Keru, say the reason why they decide for open the car wash now because they want for reduce the unemployment rate in the community. Jesse Keru talk this inside one interview with Radio Democracy where it talk about the reason why they open the Belial Car Wash. Reporter Alfred Jana do this interview with Jesse Keru.
Stand and also find out say the youth them in large number they're unemployed. We thought I'm fit say if we create Waskaya, but come will get a source of revenue for we take care of himself and so on take care of his family.
Alright. So for how long this Waska don't be?
Well, it's been here for quite a long time now. Yeah. Probably I would tell you say 7 to 8 years now. The Waska don't go on.
So in the area of the equipment, how sufficient the equipment and or the tools the way the money they use?
Yeah, you know, in every business, you must get one or two challenges, right? In terms of equipment we get machine, we get the gun, we pump the water, we get tank, water. The infrastructure is there, but the manual tools like the costume and the wear, like green boots and some certain gears they them for where we not go soak them, close them. They lost them, and most of them you give them go sell them. So. But the major equipment they could use without those equipment the wash cannot go on, they are available. But all the other challenge now with the face now water. Because there are times we can get enough water, my value will be pumped to time. So that's it.
So how the wash car business itself on time for Una with the one another?
Well, as of now like Una again season it's a bit difficult because work not can that much, you understand? But I could say it's a good business. A good investment, and any career everybody said you must get a revenue, and you would also help your youth man then because now you don't need resume for Karaoke and Waska, you don't need for go school and anything. If you're willing for work and get money, you can simple and sign up. You go for work.
So in terms of the cooperation with the one the owner, don't they take for come and they do this still so? How the cooperation on time for Una where they do the business and that of the workman themselves?
The cooperation is a bit difficult. We get a very huge challenge when it comes to cooperation because the underlying factor here is this drug we then call kush and tramadol. Those are the really, insurgents we will face because the body not able for focus for work. You get? They're not able for focus for work. Whenever they come for work, you go see the willingness, you go see the zeal. But the moment they get out in 5, 10, 20,000, instantly you go buy kush, go buy tramadol. And the moment you don't get high, they're not able for effective again, they will work again. As you see, don't get high, so machine go come for work, pass you begin fend them, go inside, put by put for fend bobo them back for work. So it's a bit difficult. The drug really being a huge challenge, you understand? And say the drug that affect you man them more within a street because it don't be like a lifestyle. All man for smoke, push all man for take tramadol. So every young man now we can say, like how can waska, the money always need now for take drug. So that is a huge challenge. They make the work the slow, it's not effective. Customer they complain just because of this drug.
So in terms of the number of workmen they get, how many workmen they will speak of in terms of numbers?
Well, we get 5 workmen, right? Although there are more than 5, but other boys then we lay off this with them bad habits, you understand? Because the drug they make get the thief. So we lay them off, right? The 5 will get, that 5 they will get. They all take drug. And you can't just then sabi the work. You know go say because this person take the work, so you go lay them off just like that. You need them, then sabi the work. But they only take the work. So you find out say no matter how much privilege you give them, no matter how you lenient with them, no matter the advice, they just need the money for go back to the drug. So you see this drug they affect the Washka, it affect the youths, the Wazak barely the pay. And even Belia community, it's not easy, man. It's not easy. Come out of that particular situation.
So in the area of for call on somebody for come help now or any development part now, which will be the call?
Well, it's pretty obvious. Sierra Leone they go through drug challenge, right? And anybody will no one for realize that's unlike this country. I go see I call on the government, private sectors, NGO organization. Anybody who feels they're in good shape and powerful for help with. And also it's not just help or for a first drug or for limit the amount of drug. What about the people in right now we already get hooked on to drug? The one that we don't get addicted already. These people also need help. They need help. So we need organization there. We need rehab facilities there.
From that report there, we continue the program Watin Dae Bi. Members say, me and Sonia Bell, where they bring this edition of Watin Dae Bi come to you today. So we go back to we guest back with a dictionary. So dictionary, we take them back from Saudi Day.
So the Saudi Day, I left a portion out. We enough for citizens when they listen to, we get better understanding about the constitution. Since this one, we tell them which is that the entirety of this amendment, which is about and about the governance and the democracy of this country. Let me go back for understand. Say the 1991 constitution not only just any other statute. That means not a person feel like when you feel them, you grab, you get documents, you change them. If you say you change anything, you never get 2/3. And that 2/3, the 2/3 off and 2/3 in, now you don't count the serious issue right now. We're in the speaker. When I don't use the 2/3 in, it use 2/3 off. It entangle himself. But that is not the portion. We'll come to that later. Like I said, when it comes to the constitution of itself, now establish Salon as a democracy and also now make and say sovereignty belongs to the people. So whatever thing we discuss in the parliament, it has to come back to us, the constituent. When they say a sovereign state, that means you do things within your own territory. But the way how they behave, so they behave as if like they lobotomize person system. You get supposed to get external shock. Like when machine day, now so parliament, the current SLPP honorables, that is how they're actually doing things. It's like you taking a machine, you unplug the device inside the person aid, don't like send a person the program behind the scene. And it's not supposed to be so. Because the wrong precedent. If you say they get for do amendment of the constitution, let be a consensus. Not so one person go grab and you don't even get the said 2/3. And that's the key thing. You understand, Bell? And that is very important. So like I said earlier, the principle of any sovereignty state, it rests on 3 things: freedom, democracy, and justice. Freedom, democracy, and justice. And if you literally prejudice them 3 things in there, what is the essence of even staying in this country? There is no essence. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so dictionary. Now parliaments don't pass this bill to law. And at the time they pass, APC gets for walkouts of parliament. What did that mean for the country?
So when it comes to walking out, now Parliament, it not literally means APC guilty. They're not wrong at all. APC also, SLPP has been doing it. So there is no issue wrong with that particular one day. Bigger democracies in the world, countries also in the world, we literally, it's part of there's a standard to every parliament, so you have the right. So if APC could have abstained from voting, they could have documented it in the minute, say they were in the house. So like, una we vote and una we no vote. If I don't make the bill this direction where speaker take, if I don't give speaker more strength. But the key thing where APC do tactically where compliments them for was walking out of parliament. But the problem now with the walking out of parliament, it don't become too common now. It become too predictable. It's like you don't have to predict that whatever thing that go wrong, APC has to walk out of parliament. Like I said, it's a standard. There's parliamentarians. It is enshrined for you move out. You don't have to cause havoc. You don't have to misbehave. You have to. That's one way to show say that dissent. You're not okay with the process. If they could have stood there, it could have gone against them. So the best they could have done is to move out. But the problem now that they recall in moving out of parliament, then it become of a concern. So now when they move out, it become a whole discussion. Say, did APC have the right to move out? And that is the problem now.
Okay.
So then they don't create more chaos. That's why when you ask me the question, even listeners out there will get for say, oh, come on, APC blants, come on, oh, no, so what's the difference this time around? Well, the difference is if they were there, it could be more problem for them. And we see two of the other APC MPs there, Mohamed Bango and Thompson. We that one day we can call and say to some extent say now watermelon people they have been reconfigured for a different configuration setting. I think they need total reboot. They voted for them. But even as that, SLPP not even gets the 100 number, we'll never get them 2-thirds. And that is the problem. It is a problem. So if you say you not get 100, then you boast about majority, then simple majority, everything becomes so confused. So like I said, this takes us back to Parliament, to Supreme Court, for give you better explanation until we wait in the God. And that is the direction they move. And if you watch as of how then they get role and with democracy, there's a wave of democracy where they move currently, where if we're not sharp in regard, this constitutional amendment now is supposed to serve as the architecture for which people in the sea of how power is being used in the country. And that literally become one of the key things. So now, lying to these three tests for listeners and viewers online get to understand the role of this amendment when it comes to democracy. The first one, now when it comes to, does this amendment increase or reduce democratic choice and accountability? Now the key question I know I get to ask myself, if you move and say, this is what has happened, this is my decree, it cannot go back, it questions our democracy, which is a test. It questions our democracy. So what are we supposed to really complain to now? And there comes the conversation also about order from above. I can tell you, say, as far as the constitution is concerned, now one great person they win an order from above, that is the president. Any other person we want to tamper the constitution, we get right for go to in court, including the speaker of himself. We get right for question you.
Okay, so how integrating the democracy, like what you just mentioned, so
now, if you watch at the statement of the speaker referred to Supreme Court. That was his referral. And if we left his referral, when we watch at the text, like I said earlier, if we left a referral, let's just read what Parliament of Sierra Leone posted on their Facebook handle. Let's read the post quickly, please, yeah? On the Facebook handle, what they posted was this. Let me pick it up quickly. So when you saw the posting being made, yes, this is the statement, yeah? That Parliament of Sierra Leone posted. It says the speaker's ruling is final and cannot be interpreted or inquired into by any court of law. Now read what the last paragraph actually says. However, since the question whether or not a non-entrenched constitutional provision can be altered by recourse only to section 91 subsection 1 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991 Act number 6 of 1992 is of grave public interest. So speaker it tie himself. If you don't refer it to go to Supreme Court, then you can make Parliament of Salon by 5 o'clock in the morning. You know what people they do. If some man on they get a nice, you grab, they go post anyhow, as if now you mash you again house. You just a type. That's a wrong approach. You have done the referral, and then you came back also, and then you make a clear say the speaker's ruling is final and cannot be interpreted. It raised question. It raised a lot of question. And the problem now, Salomon later will not be getting interest for read. But now, we are so interested in this issue. Like I tell you no more, the part just jammed me this afternoon. I see the pull press release. When I heard on the press release, my mind will have thing say they want to look into the amendment. Bio na for anyone na country lego depuis. Bio na for approval of the new position there. But like I said, we're not the Russia. He's the president. We are waiting for him until the Supreme Court refer with us, and the power also gets right for get better explanation from Supreme Court. We don't wait on that particular one day. That is the key trajectory.
Okay, so what's it mean so with democracy for let government just they pass bad law them just like that randomly?
Well, that statement say government for the past bad law. Well, that one inside parliament. I think sometimes we can say their laws are good, their laws are bad. So when you say good law, bad law, okay, when you say good law, bad law, when you say bill, when you say whatever thing, it all depends on the context. You understand? And it all depends on the interest. You understand? This also brings the issue of the Laratilopias in case. You understand? We're a precedent of the entirety of 2/3 in parliament and 2/3 of parliament. That is not the issue here. But the issue on ground we talk about with democracy, according to Abraham Lincoln in definition, be principle of the government in a school, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. That was how they defined it by then. That was over almost 100 years ago where Abraham Lincoln did that conversation there. So if you watch this current, the current dispensation, then they alter a bit that definition. They say, not waiting the people and want. It's what we want. And if you say it is what you want, then it alter democracy. And the way democracy they work now the West cannot be compared to democracy in Africa. Africa, if you watch us of how we do, Africa embrace democracy. Black man. And we all know how much we want for enjoy stay in power. And that literally democracy they found at time. That is why we vote for you, you vote and be voted for. You know, like we say, it's like, okay, this is the ballot box. You get to vote. You're not going to be voted for. It is literally a different case. So this is literally one thing where AP sense people understand. Say whatever the PR system, the first past the post, it goes back to the constituent. Now we love a vote. I'm here as a political scientist, not to come take on either side. Objectively speaking, everything the decision being taken currently right now, whatever this discuss or force is going on, it falls back to the constituent. That is the key thing. So like I say, with democracy, for them, they are protecting it to the 30% quota for women. Them. Now you want to ask for woman voice must be heard, and they cut that into first past the post and the PR system. It was cut, and also for diaspora and voting. Of course, you really America if you vote, which was a bigger issue for them, and also about it to seem like that was citizenship. They agreed on it. But like I say, the first past the post and the PR system is the huge concern. And that one day, it all lies on their interest. And I want to bring back that conversation with someone go to say, but now APC don't chap the Justice Kawan report. Now they use like how AG can go talk na different radio station them. Now they don't use now waiting and cook. Now one can feed and no one eat her. That one day if poison they all to die. We don't have a problem for that one day. But what is key here is the interest of citizens, and we have to protect our democracy. Because the wave at which we are moving with this, it's very fragile.
Okay, so back to your statement. What do you think, whose kind of system of government you think say fit as a political scientist? What do you feel say fit for Salon in this country?
So when it comes to election systems, I would tell you, say, if you go back to IGR, they report. IGR, they propose the hybrid system. When they say hybrid, it's a mix. Like when you do agriculture, you get mixed cropping. So you get all those different type of cropping. It's called hybrid. And some time back, I can't remember the actual time, but if my memory can serve me right, this year or last year, they had a meeting in which civil society activists, CCSL, Interreligious Council, a couple of other organizations and journalists them had to show them their interest on which of the system they're okay with. Some voted for first past the post, some voted for PR system. But if I'm to go by the stance of IGR, it's the hybrid system. And the hybrid system will solve this entire issue where they happen. Because by and large, if we saw that use PR, it benefits SLPP for them. If we use first past the post, it benefits APC. So the key thing is all my positioning itself for 2028. But it is not a good precedent of how they move and say you want for full support people. Let me una go into voting, go into the consensus. We have to understand, say, the stability of this country rests to the decisions we make. We don't want to go back to a decade plus of what happened. We don't want to go there. Don't prejudice people. Whether you want to prejudice or you tune yourself, it is fine. But get to understand, say, you are making decisions on behalf of the constituent. And that is the key thing. 28 is coming. And we know, say, everything human is able to do right now, it's either they stay in power or power change hands. So first past the post and PR system, you understand, Bell? It's either first past the post, APC user for coming to power back, or PR system, SLPP user for staying in power. That's the key thing.
Okay, so will they come back to you? So now they go back to Studio 2 for short music break inside the program Watin Dae Bi.
Try for go before I beg, oh, do ya not make us slow? No. If I try for raise the tempo, do ya not make them low? Yes, so if I try for go before.
Welcome back from that music break there. Well, the song we just listened to Natima Wahid do that music day for we inside the program Watin Dae Bi today. So now we come back to the studio guests as the program Watin Dae Bi they continue. So dictionary, as we round up the program now, what's now your message now as people still get concerned with this Constitutional Amendment Act where they don't pass?
So the past one literally in a speaker for in the speaker now for himself he passed for because we na Supreme Court to do it for. So in the past one all not I deal with him still for that. So like I said earlier, for the past 40 plus minutes what on there, Bell, as the only guest, like I say, I have tried for assess the amendment from the standpoint of constitutionalism, democratic accountability, and public interest. That is the angle that is the approach I've used the entirety of the conversation. And like I say, I'm not interested in whether there is a provision where they help APC as a PP today. I'm interested in whether Sierra Leone should live with that provision when the political table turns. That is the concern now. What if 2028 power change hand, or the one day in power continue for staying in power? And that comes back to our public interest. That comes back to one key thing we were able to grasp and get for say. So the dispute could be there. Speaker might have made his ruling, but when the dust has settled, this will come back to the constituency. Now we left a vote. Now you never understand. Now we left a vote. And the worst form of voting, now when you see where people in the protest vote. Have you ever seen protest vote? It's like, oh, gays. We all know so that's the norm. Especially when you don't clock in 10 years, we Salomon vote. But we vote someone because we don't have. Let we see new approach now. They are also not the same. You know the normal Salomon talk. Now the same, now the this, now then that. Then they all this and everything. But the constitutional reform, not just ordinary lawmaking. Yes, not ordinary lawmaking. So if they redesign the rule for suit your political power, just no say that close way they redesign the rule for it will either turn as a torn cloth, shaka clothes where you go wear the coat on top, but inside chair, but outside also can be very bad one. So my final message go be say, the one way things you go gain from this, have to be careful. It is set we on the wrong precedent, and if care is not taken, democracy is not a simple majority rule. It is a majority rule constrained by law. So that's the message I'm going to send to citizens out there. And thank you very much for the conversation, for Watin Dae Bi. And I believe, say, we don't do justice, forgetfulness, and say we constitution. They not right with constitution for order for win today. Not to a battle-tested document. For let's say, SLPP don't win today, APC don't win today. Not to the constitution. If you want, then get an APC constitution win and a party own, or SLPP constitution win and a party own. You can just do what you want to do. This is something for the future. That's all I have to say for today.
Well, I had this edition of Watin Go Big Go Leffy for today, Thursday, August 13, 2026. But I go say thank you to my studio guest, Winner Dictionary. And plenty thank you to my producer, Kabia, and to DJ K-Man for his technical support. And thank you to Mary Kamara Bangura and to Jan Alfred Jana. We make una see we live na Facebook page. So till we meet again. Mina Sonia Bell, where they left you with the wise word we say, wisdom not a grow with age normal.